Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. A couple of years ago, I can now talk in terms of years with this channel. We've been around almost 5 years now, I guess, 4.5 years or so. I did a talk on the 18th century's two funniest concertos, or keyboard concertos. You can go look up that video. It was lots of fun. And one of the ones I talked about was by CPE Bach. And I'm going to come back to it in a minute because now I have an entire disc of lovely concertos by CPE Bach that I want to tell you about. It's just worth having just so you can get a really good disc of CPE Bach stuff. This is with the Freiburg Baroque Orchestra under Gottfried von der Goltz, before they got sounding like really horrible, on the Carus label. It's period instruments and all that junk. Anyway, you get 3 concerti and 1 symphony. The Sinfonia in E minor, Vodken 177 for strings and continuo, which is really intense. It's one of those highly wrought emotional pieces. But most of the other music on here is not. It is galant. It's gracious and lovely and tuneful and sunny, except for the slow movements and the other 2 concertos, which are in a really pathetic minor key. They're gorgeous works, beautiful works. Along with the Sinfonia in E minor, we get the cello concerto in B flat, and B major. Sorry, it's in B, right? B is B flat. Is H is B, and yeah, it's German, right? Yeah, B flat. There we go. And the oboe concerto in B flat, and they are beautiful works, both of them. Both of them exist as keyboard works too, as keyboard concerti, because all of CPE Bach's concerti are keyboard concerti one way or another, and some of them were arranged for other instruments as well, or vice versa, however it goes. He wrote more than 60 concertos. He's not given the credit for being the king of the keyboard concerto, as he really ought to be, because he kind of invented it, along with his dad, J.S. People like to give credit to the father for inventing keyboard concertos, but the truth is it was a bit of a family enterprise. And CPE Bach's first keyboard concertos were written around the same time as Bach theoretically invented the keyboard concerto with his, transcribed concerti, the big D minor concerto and the Fifth Brandenburg and things like that. They all, the revised Fifth Brandenburg with the extra keyboard stuff. That's along the lines of what he was doing with CPE. And so it's impossible to really date these things. To date who did what first, nor does it matter because they were both geniuses. But CPE Bach really got into keyboard concerto writing. And some of them are just incredible, absolutely incredible. Maybe we'll talk about them one at a time, one of these centuries, if I ever get to it. But anyway, this disc, after the oboe concerto in B flat and the fabulous cello concerto in B flat, contains the most amazing concerto written in the entire 18th century, It's about 1780, somewhere around there. It's the double concerto for harpsichord, piano, and orchestra. It is the only piece in the history of Western civilization which combines the piano and the harpsichord in a double concerto format until we get to like the 20th century, to Frank Martin's Petite Symphonie Concertante and things like that. It is that unusual and interesting. It was probably written for one of CPE Bach's Jewish patrons because they were on quite friendly terms, and he dedicated a few of his late works to them. The same family, by the way, that eventually would give birth to Felix Mendelssohn, although they weren't all Mendelssohns. It was Sarah Levy was her name. She was a wonderful keyboard artist, a member of the Bach cult in Berlin, and a great follower and collector of Bach memorabilia. And it's thanks to her that we have quite a few CPE Bach works. And it probably this concerto was written for her. We don't really know. It is so unusual, and it's funny. It's Haydnesque funny. The finale is da 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 da. It's got all the sort of tricks that Haydn was using at the same time in his music. But this is at the very, very end of CPE Bach's career. It's his last concerto. And it's kind of amazing that at the end he goes out like Verdi did with Falstaff, with a big guffaw and a big laugh, with a piece that's extraordinarily interesting coloristically because you've got the interplay between the forte piano and the harpsichord. You've also got a couple of flutes who are soloists in the work. It's really a rich and colorful and joyous romp. And if you want a rich and colorful and joyous romp, then you got to hear it. And so I wanted to propose a disc that's not so hard to get so that you could actually listen to it. It's this one, like I said, with the Freiburg Baroque Orchestra. The soloists are, Kristen von der Goltz, cello, and Catherine Bruggemann, oboe, Michael Behringer, cembalos, harpsichord, and Christine Schornsheim, the always wonderful Christine Schornsheim, who's done all kinds of fabulous recordings, mostly on Capriccio. And she plays the Hammerklavier, the piano, in the double concerto. Listen to this double concerto. Give yourself a treat. Download it, stream it, find it. It's on the Carus label here. This particular recording is part of a series, the Bach Sons. This is the second, the Sons of Bach 2, this particular volume. But it doesn't matter where you get it. Get it. This is a good way to find it. And it's very, very nicely recorded and beautifully played. And the interchange between the harpsichord and the piano is extremely well caught. And you'll just have a grand time. The whole disc is wonderful, but this double concerto is truly one of the hidden gems of 18th century music. People don't know it. Because even today, getting a harpsichord and piano together that'll balance to do it, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But my goodness, you will be so happy that you got to know this work. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.